what is a dictatorship and how does it work? The next form of government on our list is the dictatorship. In a dictatorship, one person has absolute power with no constitutional restraints. They answer to no one, as their power is unlimited and uncontrolled. This might sound familiar, as a true monarchy operates much in the same way. However, there is one fundamental difference between a dictatorship and a monarchy, and it is usually a violent one. Unlike a monarchy, where we know rule is inherited, passed down from generation to generation, dictators come to power through a military takeover of the government, through rebellions, or when an elected ruler refuses to step down from their office. Imagine for a moment what would happen if one day the mayor of your town decided not to leave after someone else was elected to do his or her job. And then imagine if that same mayor gathered together an army and decided he or she would not only refuse to step down from their elected office, but also make all the decisions affecting people's lives, regardless of existing governmental rules and regulations or the will of the people. As strange as it may sound, that is just what dictators do. One of the most famous examples of dictators in history is the ancient Roman ruler Julius Caesar. Caesar raised an army and overthrew the Roman Empire, the most powerful government in the world at that time. And on February 14th, 44 BCE, he was made dictator for life. And to give you a little idea how much power a dictator can have, even though Caesar was assassinated just 1 month later, in 42 BCE, the Roman Senate declared him a god in the Roman religion. Although there are examples throughout history of dictators like Caesar, modern dictatorships began in the 19th century. As a number of countries in Latin America were freed from Spanish colonial rule, various self-proclaimed leaders rose up, raised private armies, and then marched on governments now weakened by no longer having the military support of Spain behind them. Antonio López de Santa Anna in Mexico and Juan Manuel de Rosas in Argentina are just two examples of men who became dictators in the Americas. But it wasn't until the 20th century that dictatorship came to serious national prominence. Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany, Benito Mussolini's Italy, and Joseph Stalin's Soviet Union all came to power in the first half of the 20th century, and they were responsible for the deaths of millions of people. The devastation they caused was so overwhelming that it is still difficult to calculate. In the mid-20th century, Mao Zedong, another dictator, unified China and is directly and indirectly thought to have been responsible for the death of between 40 and 70 million people. In the last 15 years, while they were alive, Muammar Gaddafi from Libya and Saddam Hussein from Iraq were both considered dictators. And today, China, North Korea, and Cuba are just 3 of the estimated 50 governments in the world ruled by a dictatorship. Let's review. Question 1. In a dictatorship, the ruler or dictator, A, shares governing responsibility with a parliament. B, answers to no one. Their power is unlimited and uncontrolled. C, only has total power in Eastern European principalities. D, none of the above. The answer is B. A dictator answers to no one, and their power is unlimited and uncontrolled. Question number 2. True or false? Not only was Julius Caesar appointed dictator for life by the Roman Senate, after his death, they declared him a god in the Roman religion. The answer is true. The Roman Senate declared Julius Caesar dictator for life in 44 BCE and a god in the Roman religion in 42 BCE. Question number 3. How many countries are currently considered to be ruled by a dictatorship? Is it A, 15, B, 25, C, 50, D, 65. The answer is C. China, North Korea, and Cuba are just 3 of the estimated 50 governments in the world considered to be ruled by a dictatorship.